Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball HUD, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, HUD, and welcome back to the Baseball HUD. Hopefully, you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. So, I'm going to give you a little different perspective to some of the things that I go through here. But I wanted to do something a little different and just take you to the computer that I usually read from when I find different articles. And this was something very interesting. And this is interesting because it involves the Mets prospect Bret Baty. As you know, he has not played well in the major leagues, and he's been in AAA for the last almost a month, I guess, now. Mark Vientos has basically taken the third base job from him, and he's run with it. And right now, Mets have a third baseman in Mark Vientos, and Bret Baty is nowhere to be found. Now, I've done videos on him, but I wanted to sort of put you in a different perspective and where Baty's career could be going. Now, I'm not a big fan of his because I don't think his bat is fast enough. I think his bat's a little slow for the major leagues. Now, he's destroyed AAA pitching. His numbers initially have been off the charts, but he has slowed down a little bit. His OPS at one point was over 1,000. Now it's under 1,000. So he has sort of slowed down a little bit. But he's still doing very, very well in AAA. He can't be perfect all the time. But he has played really well since he got sent down. And he was sent down basically because he hadn't played well in the major leagues. We all know that. He hasn't hit. He really hasn't hit from much power. And this article gets into this a little bit. This is from Rising Apple. And this puts him in a very precarious position. And they compare him to a player that I've compared him to that was with the Mets for quite a few years. And the Mets took forever to decide what to do with him. And they waited too long to move him to where they got nothing for him. Headline, Mets are nearing a familiar place with Bret Baty and need to act on it. What can the Mets do about Bret Baty? Well, let's see what this article has to say. What happens when you have two young players battling for one position? In some cases, one player wins the job outright, and the other fades into oblivion or into the phantom zone forever. It's happening with the New York Mets. Mark Vientos is heading his way into becoming one of the most important members of the starting lineup. Meanwhile, Bret Baty twiddles his thumbs in AAA, mashing those pitchers. It wasn't long ago when Baty was one of the best prospects in Major League Baseball. Unfortunately, he was demoted in 2 consecutive seasons. His glove finally looked Major League ready in 2024, but the bat wasn't nearly as capable of handling the pitchers he's facing on a daily basis. I mean, this has been a very difficult thing to watch because he has had a very good reputation as a prospect. It wasn't long ago, like I said, we've seen it before. Dom Smith and Pete Alonso never had a real competition at first base. Alonso won the job outright in the spring training 2019, and Smith attempted to play left field. It never worked. And the Mets attempted to capitalize on the trade value he built in the shortened 2020 season. Now, here's the thing. Dom should have been moved in 2020 into the offseason, and the Mets didn't move him for whatever reason. I don't know if they thought that they had something in him, but he's a player that doesn't play well in pressure situations. He didn't play well when there were people in the ballpark, but when there was nobody in the ballpark, he played well. As you know, there was nobody in the ballpark in 2020. What can the Mets do about Baty? Baty's trade value hasn't completely tanked. With an average middle reliever on expiring or a year and a half long contract could be worth, this is terribly written. Let me say this again. Would an average middle reliever on an expiring or year and a half long contract that's terrible writing, be worth trading Baty away? He has a minor league option left after this season. He isn't even eligible for arbitration until 2026. Teams looking to rob a once top 25 prospect shouldn't fear adding him. A terror on pitchers in AAA, Baty's lifetime .215, .282 on base percentage, .325 slugging percentage, slash line, 602 big league appearances leaves a lot to be desired. Less power than an average hitter, he has been a one-dimensional player on his best days with the Mets. He now can feel the position at an average or even above rate. Beyond that, there's little intriguing about him other than him rediscovering his ceiling. And last year, he played terribly defensively. He worked very hard to be pretty good at third. But he's always been prone to strike out a lot. In every minor league stint, he finished with more strikeouts than games played. He overcame it with some impressive on-base percentages. Even when he hit .234 back in 2019, Baty reached base at a .368 clip. The power explosion seems to go away as soon as he reaches the majors. Slugging percentage is over .600 in the last 2 years when in AAA, and a .533 and 420 plate appearances back in 22 showcase the potential. Other teams know better than to buy into the hype. Back-to-back seasons have included a demotion for Baty. One was in 2023 where they had nothing but time to let him figure it out. Smith ended up non-tendered by the Mets, and the same sad ending is something we'd like to see the Mets avoid with Baty after a long drawn-out attempt to make him a major leaguer. Adding second base to his positional versatility does little to satisfy it. It's a lame stick he swings that put him back in the minors and has the Mets in a spot where patience runs thin. Now, like I said, that is the biggest problem here, is he can't hit a fastball. His bat is too slow. And I think, if you're being honest, you know that. Now, people have written to me, oh, he's a star. Well, if he's a star, he's certainly not showing it because he's not in the majors. Now, I'm very disappointed that he's not here, because I thought that he had a chance in the beginning. But after watching him last season, I had felt, and I still feel, that he's not a major league player. I think his bat is probably slower than Dom Smith's, if that is possible. So I thought Dom Smith had a very slow bat. His attitude is better than Dom's, I will say that. Just in terms of wanting to improve himself, and he's not out of shape. Because Dom was out of shape for a long time in the minors. But with Baty, he's a hard worker. I think we all know that because he really improved his defense in the offseason. But that bat is just not fast enough. And the Mets have to decide what they want to do with him, because if they wait too long, then he's not going to have any value, and they can't, maybe he needs to change the scenery. Maybe somebody can tap into what he can do in the major league level. He cannot, he's master AAA. But is he a major leaguer? Someone has to find that out, and the Mets don't need to do that. And obviously with the new president of baseball operations and David Stearns, they have a guy that'll be very honest about what he's looking at. Now, you could probably get something that the Mets need. The Mets need relief help. They could probably get a middle reliever that can help them in the 6th and 7th inning for him. But you can't hold on to him too much longer or he'll lose value. You cannot hold on to him going into the next season. He cannot be on this roster. And there are other players behind him that have more value and that are going to be on the 40-man roster, that are middle infielders and infielders that are going to be nipping at his toes, nipping at his heels. Well, you let me know what you think about this. It's an unfortunate situation. This is what happens with players. I feel bad for the kid. But this is how it is in Major League Baseball. You either strive or you don't survive. Simple as that. Well, I would mention this. If you're not on X and if you're not on Facebook or any other platform, please hit the subscribe button so you'll know everything that's going on with the Mets. This channel is going to be extremely busy in the month of July. And if you've been following the last few days, it has been going crazy here with all the views on here. And you need to subscribe. You'll get all the information you could possibly get. Like I said, there are going to be short videos, longer videos, regular content, live streams, and everything else. So thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.